Welcome back to the Wealth Help Desk. Of course, I'm Mark Henry, the CEO of Alloy Wealth, and I'm joined today with a special guest sitting in for CJ.
Yep, it's good to be here.
Yeah, it is. I've got Hunter Henry with me. This is my oldest son and graduate from Liberty University with his financial degree and all that fun stuff, and an advisor. Got himself a new office down there in
Yep,
Albemarle, North Carolina.
we're almost ready to open.
Yeah,
So we're
it's
getting
getting close,
real
right?
close, real close.
Yeah. So again, on the Wealth Help Desk, we like to talk about all the subjects and what's on your mind. And I hate this word, safe space, but because that just sounds so woke, and that's not me at all. But the reality is, my mic's dropping. Whoa, there it goes. We'll make it work though. Gotta love live YouTube or television. But this is a place where you can get your questions answered. You write them in, people call in on our radio shows, TV shows from around the country. And, but for the Wealth Help Desk, I felt like it was necessary. And I know you and I talked about it a bunch about this idea of a place where someone your age, my age, or any age could just text a question in, write it in a comment and get it answered, but not like feel like they're being judged. And so
Yeah,
that's where the word safe space comes from. I know you get questions all the time from your peers, people you went to school with and all. And,
yeah.
and they ask you, well, how do you do this? Or like, recently, I know you were telling me that like some of your peers were like, kind of seems like you're living large already. Is that the right term?
Yeah, I mean, maybe so. I mean, not that you're old, but for your age, it's a lot easier to ask these questions because you could walk into any Edward Jones or Merrill Lynch or really anywhere, and they'd be happy to see you. But
Right.
Wall Street kind of has high walls when you're under 30.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah. No question about it.
it's a little more intimidating for the younger crowd to ask
I
these
like how you
questions.
said that too, high walls. Well, we're going to jump in. We've got a lot today. We will have questions at the end, but let's get into this idea of what a bad financial market means. And this is a good topic because I think about, and I'm going to call him out on here. I don't know if he'll see this or not. We're not supposed to do that, I don't think. Call out people that ask you a question, give names. But this is a friend.
Why
So I'm
not?
thinking of Jeremy when I remember when Louder. So
Oh yeah,
Jeremy,
already.
just
Yeah, old
one of my
neighbor.
old neighbors, his parents were at a farm we had, and just one of the coolest guys, hardworking man I've ever seen, raising his son, and just you know what? I can't believe how well his life has turned out and how good he's done in life.
Oh yeah.
And just a hardworking guy. But I remember we had a bad market, I don't know, several years ago. Seems like they've all gone up, but 22 was, of course, bad. This might have even been that last quarter of 18. But he had just reached out to me and said he had a question. He said, man, it's just, my 401's just crashing and this and that. And so what does that really mean to what is Jeremy now? 34, 35,
Yeah,
maybe?
he's a couple years older than me.
Yeah, so 34, maybe something like that, but at the time, he was probably late 20s, but he was
Yeah.
putting money in his 401, and he was, like, really concerned, like, what should he do? Should he stop putting money in? And things like that, and while some people watching may say, "Well, that's dumbest thing ever," that's not dumb at all. Look, when you see your statement and you get that thing every month and you see it going down or something,
Mhm.
it's hard to keep taking your hard-earned money and shoving it in there.
I think everybody has a point where they eventually stop. It's just too much, and they
Yeah.
take a step back. It's everybody's got that
But
emotional trigger.
should they have that point when they're 25 or
No,
28
I
or
mean,
35
absolutely
or
not.
40?
But it's just emotions.
Yeah.
It's
So tell me what you think about a bad market.
I mean, for me, it's an opportunity to invest more, but I'm 30 years old. So, at 30, it's a great opportunity. It's
So
scary.
when you say that, okay, why is it scary? Let's start about that first.
Well, you're watching your money, just you're putting it in, and I put in $20. I bought, a share of whatever. And then I go look at it 20 minutes later, now it's $18. And then it's 17. It just keeps going down, but you're buying it on sale, I guess is where I'm
That's
thinking.
exactly why I wanted you on the show today. I got to figure out how to get this mic to come back up. But anyway, so I'll have to scrunch over. I'm trying to have good posture in life. So, but that's exactly why I wanted you on because I want you to think of this. When you think about a bad market and this idea of it's scary, well, I think it should be scary if you're my age and you're thinking about retirement. I'm not thinking about retirement. I want to do this for a very long time,
Mhm.
as you know, but we help people retire every day. And I can understand when they don't have a plan why it would be so scary because they're seeing their dollars drop.
Mhm.
Totally get that. But let's take someone your age or Jeremy's age in this example that I used. Real example. Think about what investing actually means. So you're taking your hard-earned dollars
Mhm.
and you're spending them. Okay? Now, when you spend them and go buy the latest iPhone, what's an iPhone cost these days?
Gosh, $2,000 in some cases. They're expensive. I
2
mean,
grand.
2 grand for a phone,
Seriously.
yeah, and you buy one
Okay.
every year.
Okay, so let's think about this. When you go buy the iPhone for 2 grand
Mhm.
and 1 year later the iPhone 26 comes out and you wanna trade yours in, what's it worth? A grand?
$700, 800.
700
Yeah.
bucks. Do you fear when you purchase that 2 grand iPhone, you go home and you unbox it and you start playing with it? Are you stressed about the fact that the iPhone you just bought is now worth less money?
No.
Interesting.
But I think it's you have something to hold in your hand. You have a tangible, like, "This is mine. I'm
Okay.
holding it. I can see it."
Okay. But you have a statement,
Agreed.
and the statement in this example says you own less or it's worth less, but
Yeah.
the key is you don't own less. So let's think about what really happened when you invested in your example of 100 bucks or 20 bucks
Mhm.
or whatever. You bought something. You own it.
Yeah.
Okay? The thing you bought goes up in value or down in value. That's called gambling. No, I mean investing. I'm sorry. I got that wrong. It's called investing. Well, we got a chart we can put up on the screen, and I want you to look at this. If we're just talking about investing in the S&P 500, and we're not even going to pick out cool things that you happen to like. You like buying stocks. I know you do, because you'll see something you think is cool, and you'll go buy it.
Yep.
Buy a share of it because you like it, or 10 shares or 100 shares.
Yep.
But if you just bought into the S&P 500, and we started years ago and we watch what's happened. Yeah, you see it hit these highs and then it fell and then it came back and hit another high, then it fell. And then you see what happened after the '08 and all that. And my gosh, it's just kind of gone one direction. Now you can see some really bad dips in it. There's some really long ones that went down there toward the end in the last few
Oh, yeah.
years. But overall, if you just bought the S&P, other than the days that you didn't like it, I kind of think you'd be pretty happy.
Yeah.
Unlike the iPhone that never goes back in value.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong.
You get to
It's
use the
yeah.
tool, but think about what you can do with this. If you had bought it and did it for 10 years, okay, now you could sell it. You
Yeah.
have capital gains to pay. If it was a 401, you wouldn't or something, but whatever. But at the end of the day, you have made money. And when you see your portfolio growing, it's one of the coolest feelings in the world. This idea that I'm at work today. Let's call this work. This is actual
It's
fun.
fun. Yeah.
But, don't know. What are we getting paid for this gig anyway?
We're getting paid.
That's right. You're getting paid. That's one of the funniest lines ever. That was Shooter Jennings, Waylon Jennings' son, had recorded this, did this song, and he had a famous musician on for him. And right after the song was done, but they were still recording the act. I'm going to tell you who it is in a second. I'm trying to think of his name, but he goes, "Hey, what are we getting paid for this gig anyway?" Yeah, that was one of the funniest statements ever. So I'm not sure this one's paid us anything, but that's okay. If it helps other people, it's
Yeah,
worth it, and that's
all
why I
worth it.
want to do it. Um, so when I think of this idea, what would happen, Hunter, for somebody in your age group if they could get that feeling of receiving the iPhone? There was a day, I still see clients occasionally, it's been a long time, but they used to bring stock certificates in because there was a day when you would buy your stocks and you would get certificates for them. And so now you had this thing
Yeah.
that said you owned a share of a company. Well, now it's all electronic and it's all on statements and stuff. But how could we change? How could someone change their mindset? Because I truly believe it's what you said. They see them putting their hard-earned dollars in, $20, and next week it's 18.
Yep.
So they want to get out. And then when the $20 goes to 25 or goes to 30, as the market goes up, and we saw on that chart how it goes way up, everybody wants a piece of that.
Yeah, you're doing it the opposite. You're supposed to be buying it when it's dropping, but we see it go up, and you get on Twitter and you see somebody that bought Bitcoin last week and they're up 20%, and then you want to go buy some, and then all of a sudden now it's down 20% and you want to sell it.
So where's this idea about buy low? What was the other part of it?
Sell high.
Sell high.
Yeah, that one.
Why do you not see people doing that?
You know, it's all emotional. I think it's worse now because of social media. Social media has made it 10 times worse
I don't
because you have
disagree.
that FOMO and
Yeah.
everything else. I mean,
Right.
you can log into Twitter or X now, and you could see somebody who's just killing it, and you got to go buy in, and you did exactly what you're
Well,
supposed to do.
and especially in the financial space that I'm in, that you're in, as licensed advisors, um, we we help people every day with this, but now on Ticker Talk or Snappergram and all these other people laugh when I say all this. I know what I'm saying. Doing it to make you laugh. Come on, hit that like and subscribe button right now, because that was funny. You're supposed to laugh. But there's a million people in your age groups and even younger that are Facebook happy or are they Instagram rich?
Yep.
And some of them are. Listen, some young people are doing some amazing things non-traditionally.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's amazing the amount of money some people are making. We see them. However, I see people giving financial advice daily on these social media that hold no license, hold no anything, and I'm not even sure they even understand what they're saying, much less can explain it to anybody else.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
100%.
And I would encourage everybody to be very careful of what they listen to. I know on my health journey, I vet the people I listen to all the time because everybody's got an answer and a cure for everything if you want to go down the rabbit hole far enough. Now, the good news is a lot of it is good, accurate information. There is good. I'm not hating on these people. There is good stuff out there. Health world, financial world, or anything else. Well, let's look at this next slide we're going to put up. This one's pretty cool because this shows the growth of a $3,000 investment, an annual $3,000 investment in the S&P over 30 years. And if you look at this thing, you'll see 30 years later, so you invested $3,000 a year for 30 years. Okay, so that would be somebody's 30 years old, they do it till they're 60. They put $3,000 a year in, and age 60, they've got $500,000 in this example. Now, remember, past performance is not
Negative in the future.
right. You don't know that, but this is exactly what
great-
would have happened.
Yeah.
So we could expect. I mean, I would personally expect it to do something similar. Who knows? Maybe more, maybe less, but it would be something.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, well, $500,000 ain't what it used to be. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely not. When you don't have $500,000 and somebody else does, you wish you were them.
Oh, agreed.
And
yeah.
and $3,000 a year is a number that many people could afford to do 3-4 times that much.
Yeah.
Even though it's hard out there, and I know it's hard in your. But tell me, you obviously very successful. You worked hard, went to college, and that doesn't mean I think about other people that didn't go to college and they're even more successful.
Yeah.
So college is not a requirement for success. I think it's.
Yeah, I would
think it's
argue
a-
that it's really not at
Not-
all.
not at all.
In a lot of ways.
In many
It's-
ways. Think about some of the people you went to school with that you wouldn't call them successful at all, but they got the degrees from a
Yeah.
very good school.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a waste of money in a lot of places unless you're getting that degree that's actually going to take you somewhere. That's probably one
I
of the
think
biggest
in
issues.
America, if you want to be a brain surgeon, I think you're still going to need to go to
Yeah.
college.
No, yeah, 100. Yeah, well, I
think
mean,
that was
Max is a
necessary.
perfect example.
Yeah, he is.
$300,000 plus in student loans, but
Yeah, but
he
he's a
just
doctor.
finished residency and he's now
Right.
an anesthesiologist. So,
Right.
like, that's
And
gonna.
he's going to make great
he's
money and
gonna
have a
do
great
great.
career, and
Yep.
he'll do very well in life. And it's one of those things. I say it all the time. If you want to live like no one else, you have to live like no one else. Well, I think Max is a great example of that. I remember meeting him in college as
Oh,
a
yeah.
roommate and all that, and good friend. But yeah, Max put the work in
Well,
and spent the money
you
and got the
always
debt.
would
Nobody
make,
paid for it.
that comment to me about discipline.
Yeah.
Between choosing what you want today and what you really want. And I think Max is really the perfect example of that because, he was driving he bought that Jetta, and he's probably put 150,000 miles on it, and
Yeah.
he could afford to go buy whatever he wants now.
Right.
He could buy any car he wants, does not matter.
He's
He
an
could do it,
anesthesiologist.
and he won't. He won't.
He won't.
He won't.
Not
He
yet.
he has been living in his new house for almost, I don't know, 6 months, still doesn't have a TV. That's just
Yep.
who he is,
Right.
and he's gonna retire very, very wealthy because of that.
Well, but that's it's not all, work and no play. That makes Jack a dull boy. It would make
Yep.
Max a dull boy. Think about the trips. Max tries to get you to get off
Oh,
work to go
I'm well aware.
3-day trips to where? Where did he want to go
Oh,
last?
oh gosh, he went to he wants to go to Switzerland in
Yeah.
April to go skiing. I'm like, "I'm not
Right.
going there for
Yeah.
3 days."
3 days. That's a long trip to
That's a
go
long
skiing
trip.
for 3 days. But I bring that up because when you think about this idea of $3,000 investment over a 30-year period, I think many people out of college, 25, 26, 28, whatever, can find $3,000
Well,
or
there's
5,000.
we live in a time now where this is probably the easiest time to make money with social
I don't
media,
disagree
with
a bit.
DoorDash,
I don't
Uber.
disagree a
mean,
bit.
there's so many options out there for people
If you
outside of
want it bad enough,
traditional.
if you want it bad enough,
Yep.
you could hustle. The grind is real, but you can hustle and get it done. So when you think about this, this next section we're going to jump into, when I think about this idea of how money should be invested, and I've had to change my personal opinions on this subject so many times because quite honestly, it's the world keeps changing.
Yeah.
When I went to school, I was trained in when you get old, you get your money in a boomer portfolio. They didn't call it that back then, but I call it a boomer portfolio, which is you put 60% in equities and 40% in bonds, and you're supposed to be what? Good to go?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I can think about one of your professors, Corn Nuts or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
I don't want to call him out,
Yeah.
but anyway.
No, you can. It's he taught it the same way, and it's
Yeah.
so broken. It's
Yeah, this
that
guy's,
traditional.
obviously older than me, but I remember when you started going to school there, he had, and this is a professor, but also an advisor.
Yep. Yep.
Worked for one of the big box retailers. We won't bring up their name, but he had an office, still practiced,
Yeah.
still had a.
I don't know if he does
business.
anymore. Great guy. I mean, I have
He
nothing
is
bad to
great.
say.
No,
about him,
absolutely
but
not.
just totally.
But his opinions were based on stuff that worked in the 60s and 70s and 80s, and he never changed. And
they still teach it the same way.
they still that's what's wrong with the educational system. But so I've had to change my opinion of how money should be managed so many times because the world, newsflash, the world keeps changing. So let's think about this idea of this terms. We'll put this chart up on the screen about aggressive and conservative and all this other stuff. What does this even mean? What does this
I
mean?
mean, you tell me. I mean, it's the world we live in now. It's for me, I'm an aggressive investor.
Okay.
30 years old.
Okay, wait. Aggressive investor.
Yeah.
So if you saw your account in a bad market lose 80%, you had finally gotten to, let's say, $50,000 and you saw it drop to 10 or something.
I couldn't tell you what I would do. What
'Cause you haven't
what I'm going to
experienced it.
tell you I would do is I would buy more.
Okay.
But what would I actually when I get to that point? Who knows?
Who knows?
I mean, it's all
But-
emotional.
Somebody else might come to you and say they're an aggressive investor. And if that portfolio lost 20%, they'd sell the whole darn thing.
Yep.
Because what does aggressive mean?
I
That's
don't
what's
think
wrong with the
it's-
system.
I don't think it's how much risk you're taking. It's not about the There's I don't know, like a tech stock could be very risky.
Okay.
We could both have some,
Mhm.
but your risk tolerance could be significantly less or more than mine.
Well,
So like
that's
you
the point. So when you use a term aggressive,
Mhm.
what does it mean?
It's all
Quantitative.
personal.
Well,
Yeah,
it's what?
it's your personal level.
Okay, that's the problem, though,
Yeah.
because we're trained in school that if you're in your 70s, you better be in a conservative portfolio, and if you're in your 30s, you better be aggressive.
Yeah.
I don't like the term because no one can tell me what you are the most recent graduate in our family, correct?
Correct.
Or well, Amy, I guess.
Amy is
Amy
now,
is,
yeah.
or Steffi, whatever. But the point is, not that long ago. You've been out of school, what, 8 years?
Yeah. Coming. Wow.
It's unbelievable. You've been at
Wow.
my firm 8 years. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
But anyway, but they would still teach you aggressive, growth, moderate, and conservative, and what that means.
Yeah.
Aggressive, all stocks, growth. Okay, all stocks. What kind of stocks? They may not even be aggressive themselves.
Yeah.
Some stocks are more aggressive than others. My point is that words mean nothing to me. Now, I would tell you that I like to put it all into terms people can understand by building a portfolio and then back testing it
Yeah.
and saying, hey, if this portfolio did this in 2008, what would you have done? If it did this during COVID, if it did this in 22, if it did this in the fourth quarter of 18, what would you have done? How would you react? Could you handle that? Doesn't make the portfolio good or bad. It might be good or bad for the person that has it.
Well, we see it every day when clients come in.
Every
I'm an
day.
aggressive investor, but then
Right.
we look at it and we're like, okay, well,
Not really.
not really, actually,
Right.
based on the
Or
way you.
I'm a conservative investor.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be. And go, well, not according to this portfolio, right? Because they don't even
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
They don't even know what's in it. They don't even understand
Well-
how it would react because no one's taken the time to show them or the correlation matrix to show them how correlated their portfolio may or may not be.
Well, you can't read that from a statement is the thing. So many people
It's
think
hard.
you can just look at a statement and understand what you're doing. You have
No,
no
it takes an
idea.
analyst to do it.
Yeah, you
That's
really,
why we have a planning team to do this. But I want to end on this discussion point about in this I have some notes here on this, but people feel emotions are different. We're God created human beings, and by and large, we're all different. I mean, I think of women being more emotional than men, but in reality, when it comes to money, I don't even know if that's true.
I don't think it is.
I don't even know if it's true. It's just everybody has to look at this their own way. What you say, well, where's the generalities? Well, I could say this. Someone your age should be much more aggressive than someone my age. Now, that's a statement. I just made it. You say, oh, okay, that makes sense. But it's not true because the reality is they have to be as aggressive as they can withstand the market going down and doing things they don't want without them becoming so emotional they now change it. When I think about my own personal money, I have my Roth account, which is the one that I'm going to use much later in life, if
course.
ever, or I'm going to leave
Yeah.
it to Seth, my favorite son.
So
I mean,
why would you want to do that? So you want to drain your Roth last? Why would you want to
personally,
do that?
yeah, I want to because I've already paid tax on it. It grows tax free, and if I
So you
leave it
wanna
to
let it keep
someone,
growing.
they don't pay tax.
Gotcha. So you want to let that keep growing?
That's my thought. So
So-
guess how I have it invested?
Probably more aggressive.
More? Yeah, but I have it in one of our most aggressive portfolios ever. I mean, literally, it lost over 50% in a recent market event a few years
Wow.
ago. And people are like, you're nuts. That's a terrible. No, it's not. It's back up over 100 now. Who cares? I'm making money like crazy in that thing. And guess what? On this next market burpee or whatever it does, which is coming any day, and people say, whoa, my gosh, you're predicting markets. No, I'm not. We haven't had one.
Yeah.
So someday it's coming. Now, is that someday this year? Is that someday next year? Is that someday 3 years out? Or is it tomorrow? Tell me what's going to happen in the news.
There's a lot going on.
China could fart, and the next
It-
thing you
they
know, the
could-
market drops
They could
50%.
invade Taiwan. I mean, you got
Correct.
Russia, Ukraine.
But
There's
that
just
money-
so many things.
So many things. Greenland,
Yep.
whatever. Okay, that money is so far in my future that I have no reason not to leave it. And when it's in a bad market, guess what? I don't even look at it. You say you don't buy or sell something? I don't do anything with it because I don't manage it personally because I'm on here with you. And this is the funny thing. People have this idea that their money manager is the best in the world because he knows exactly or she knows exactly when to buy and sell.
Well,
Yeah. How can they do this? I don't even know what's happening. This is live. How can they do this job right now that I'm doing, but yet I'm managing that high risk portfolio that I have my personal money in? How could you do both?
you can't. And personally, if I was the best, I wouldn't be talking to you. No offense.
Yeah.
I'd be somewhere on a beach with an iPad and just being the best.
No
Like,
doubt. Or you'd be running $1 trillion
Yeah.
hedge fund on Wall Street.
just doing it myself and
Correct.
just relax.
So I pay people to manage my money. You say, well, no, you're a wealth manager. I am. And I use the same portfolio as my clients use. I just happen to have one of them is one of the most aggressive we offer. And I've got my entire Roth in it because I think my timeline on using that might be never for me personally. Maybe it goes to Terry, then she'll want to use it. And so then that happens. Or maybe Terry and I leave it to the kids. Which you get. And so why would you not want me to be aggressive with it, Dad? Make that thing
Yeah.
big so my share's a big cut one day. And I never have to pay tax on it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have to have money in non-aggressive positions or not even in the market.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to ever have a loss on them. Because that's money I might need today.
Yeah.
I might want to go buy something tomorrow. Well, the last thing I want is to decide I want to go buy another piece of real estate tomorrow. And I go to get the money because it gotta strike now. This thing's the deal's how you found it. I gotta go get it today, right? That's never happened. Hey, Dad, you
Yeah.
need to make this purchase right now. So okay, and you're laughing. But think about this. So I want to go do that, and I go to the market, and the account that I want to use is down. Well, how dumb would that be?
It's a recipe for disaster.
It's very horrible. So we
Yep.
have to have money
Yeah.
available inside and outside
So
of Wall Street.
backtrack really quick. You talked about, we use a money manager to manage
Mhm.
our clients
Yeah.
and our own money.
I'm paying them
you
to
know,
watch it right now while I'm on
while
here
we're doing
talking with you.
this.
Yeah.
So it's more proactive
Well,
than
if
reactive.
something's going on and they need to buy or sell something, they're not picking up the phone and calling me and saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, we're buying this, selling that." That's because we have no commissions inside our portfolio.
Mhm.
If they had commissions, they'd have to call and tell me, and
Yeah.
I have to approve it. I'm not approving a thing. I want
Yeah.
them to manage the money the way I've agreed to. Now, if I had it in a very conservative portfolio, I would want it to act very conservative.
Yeah.
I would make less money on it, and I would expect less losses. If I have it in an aggressive account, I'd expect to make way more, and I'd expect to have higher losses. And that's exactly how that account should work. But they don't pick up the phone and call me. They just handle business,
Yeah.
man. That portfolio may have $1 trillion in it. I don't have $1 trillion. I have my share in it, but a 5,000, 100,000, a million other Americans may be using that same money manager
Mhm.
if the advisor company they're working with is large enough, and they may have money in that same portfolio. Who cares? I just know what I have in it, and that's what I care about.
Okay.
All you care about is what you have. Don't
Yeah.
worry about everybody else's money.
But it seems like though for, the people that are nearing retirement, that proactive method is
Great.
essential.
So, and when you think about it, and we got to jump into this next section, behavioral mistakes, but think about this. When you're in retirement, let's say,
Mhm.
and you say, well, like, that 75-year-old shouldn't be aggressive. Why not? Now, he shouldn't be first off, he should do or she should do whatever they want with their money because it's not my money. I'm supposed to advise them. I don't get to tell them. There's a big difference. But think about this. When I'm 75 or 80, why wouldn't I still want that Roth in a very aggressive account if I don't need the money? Wall Street has its purpose. It's how we beat inflation. It's how we grow our wealth. We just can't rely on Wall Street to save us in retirement. And what I mean by that is we have to have a rock solid income plan to pay our bills
Yep.
with. And that's not dividend paying stocks or some dumbass thing like that. It's simply, and you say, well, you don't like dividend? I love dividends,
Yeah.
but I don't rely on them for my income. I rely on them to help build me wealth. Income needs to be in my mailbox on the first of the month. And I
Agreed.
personally don't even want it in the mailbox because my mailman, love my mailman, don't throw my mail away. But I want mine direct deposited
Yeah.
on the first.
I agree.
I want to get paid. I've worked hard my whole life. I get a paycheck. If I ever retire, guess how I want to retire? With a paycheck.
Mhm.
Once I have a paycheck, everything else becomes, guess what?
Fun.
Everything else. It becomes everything
Yeah.
else. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
As long as my monthly paycheck shows up, I'm good to go. Let's get into this. We got so much more to cover today. Let's get into behavioral mistakes that ruin plans, especially in bad markets. I think they can ruin them in good markets. I think about, I've brought it up before, but I think about, and you know the person I'm going to talk about, our dog trainer. But I was talking to him the other day, and he asked me to come into his office, secret lair. But he was really wanted to talk about markets. It was before the end of the year, and he had made so much money last year. And newsflash,
A lot of people did.
yeah, newsflash, you better have made money last year. Agreed. You might want to seek out a new advisor if you didn't. But anyway, but he was fearful. And you're like, what do you mean? Well, he was fearful because he didn't know what to do. He was up really good on his portfolios, not retiring today, but he wants to retire at
Mhm.
some point, maybe sell the business, maybe not, who knows. And what do I do with the money? Well, think about this. What do you mean, what do you do with the money? You invested the money for it to do what, Hunter?
Grow.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so now it's really grown well,
Mhm.
but yet you're really nervous. You're fearful. Why? Well, because you don't want, he wanted my crystal ball that I can't find. We've moved too much.
I don't
We've
think we
had
ever
too many
had one, to
offices.
be honest with you. I wish we did.
Yeah, I don't know if we ever had one, but I like to say I lost it. So he wanted, his idea was, what should I do? Should I just leave it and keep growing it? Should I move it? Should I do? He was very fearful.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. What would have happened if the market had been really bad? So let's say his retirement nest egg had dropped 20%
Mhm.
last year. It was a bad market or 30%. How would his How would he have felt?
I'm pretty scared, pretty bad, probably. I mean,
So he would have been
especially,
nervous,
yeah, I would have been.
fearful.
Yeah, when you're, again, at my age, I would be upset,
Okay.
but I wouldn't be fearful.
So let's think about this. Good market last year. He's nervous because he doesn't know what to do with the profits.
Yep.
So he's fearful. Bad market last year. He's losing money and now he's really fearful.
Yep.
When exactly is he supposed to be happy?
I think that's the $1,000,000 question.
Well, that's the idea of this segment here. We got so much more to talk about today, but behavioral mistakes. I'll tell you, if you can't be happy when the markets did what they did last year,
Mhm.
you're just not a happy person. Now, but I understand this guy very well because the reason is he doesn't have a plan.
Yeah.
That was 100% the reason. The idea of why didn't somebody call him potentially and say, hey, you're up 15%, 20, I don't know, he's up 30%,
Yeah.
whatever, who cares? So you had $1 million in there and you made 300,000. I don't know what these markets are going to do, but I know you had a heck of a year. Why don't we take 300,000 out and put it somewhere else?
Mhm. Where would you put it?
I don't know, under his mattress. I don't mean that literally,
Yeah,
but could we put it in savings?
Yeah.
Could we put it in CDs? Could we put it in a fixed annuity? Could we put it in indexed annuity where he could get gains and not losses? What if we never sell on the high side?
Mhm.
We're always going to be riding the Wall Street roller coaster.
Yeah.
So maybe that would have been a good idea for someone his age. Maybe not.
Mhm.
But there's options. But the point is, when you have a rock solid financial plan, it allows you to enjoy good markets without being as worried.
Yeah.
I don't think you can't build your walls high enough to protect you from everything. The
No,
Bible's
of
pretty
course
clear
not.
about
It
that.
is.
Grain silos can be filled to the top, but it won't be high enough.
Yep.
But I think we can be good stewards
Agreed.
and enjoy what was a great market last
Oh,
year,
yeah.
knowing that we're going to see another market soon.
You talk about the plan, though. So, like, for a holistic plan, like, what is that? What does that look like
Well,
for someone
it's-
like him?
Yeah, well, again, that would be an age thing. For someone like yourself, let's start there. For a younger person,
Mhm.
and let's jump in. Grab your sheet out there because
Yeah.
I got some notes on this behavioral mistakes on the next section, section 2 there. But when you think about this, when you think about a plan for yourself, should that include an emergency fund?
100%.
Okay, now I think different jobs require a bigger or smaller emergency fund. You'll hear all these statistics say it's got to be 3 to 6 months of your living expenses, this and that. I don't know if I believe all that. Let's say you're a nurse, and as long as you don't go do something bad that would affect your license, could you leave your job tomorrow and probably go get another one the next week?
Yes.
Okay, so you could probably err on having a smaller one
Yeah.
as long as you're good at your job. So maybe it's only 3 months
Yeah.
for someone like that. When I say emergency fund, where would you want that money?
Savings.
Savings.
Somewhere I could just pull
High
cash
yield
out.
savings
Yep.
and no fees to get your money out.
Yep.
So CDs wouldn't work.
Nope.
Nope, wouldn't
Just
work.
somewhere I can just pull cash.
Money
immediately.
market. No, we just want to. We want to be able to get the money right now today. And do you find that at your local bank, or do you have to go to an online bank to get the best rates?
Online banks typically have the
Yeah.
better rates right now.
You're never going to walk into the branch,
No.
and why is that?
I think it's just the footprint they have. They have so much
You
overhead.
just said it. Hold on,
Yeah.
you just said it. What is the answer?
It's the footprint.
The fact that you can walk into
Yeah.
one on every single corner, the shopping mall, the grocery store, everywhere,
Yep.
that costs money. When you use the really good online banks, where's the branch?
Yeah.
They don't have one. Footprint.
Apple's paying, I think, 3.65 right now
Yeah.
on a savings, and it's
Where's
like
the
it's
Apple?
more accessible.
Where's the Apple
than,
Bank?
Yeah. Exactly.
Where do I go for the Apple?
I,
wanna go
I
see it.
haven't seen one yet.
Very good. So again, shout out to them. So you have to have an emergency fund for someone like yourself because you're mom's favorite. Yours can be on the smaller side because you getting fired is going to be really hard. Because I'm not going
That's
to be,
fair.
I'm going to sleep on the couch and I don't want to sleep on the couch. I personally would have cut you years ago, but whatever. So just kidding, just
Thanks.
kidding. You are the kidney donor, my favorite son. So, all right. So what else do you have after that? You got your emergency fund. What would you need next when you're building this quote holistic plan? And we're going to talk about these behavioral mistakes. So what would be next on this plan?
I mean, for me, I'd start putting money in a Roth.
So once you have money invested,
Yep.
you'd want to contribute to a Roth.
Yep.
Okay. Do you want to contribute to a 401 and a Roth, or right now you just want to max the Roth out first?
Well, it depends on if your employer is doing a match. I mean, that's free money.
Okay.
I would say
okay.
take it.
So if
You
they're
know,
matching 3%, you got to
yeah,
get
you
that.
got to get that.
Got to,
You have to.
because otherwise
Free
you're
money.
telling your employer you don't want to raise.
Yep. So
Okay.
taking
Like
that in a
that.
Roth.
All right. So let's go into these behavioral mistakes that can ruin a plan. Now we're assuming someone has a plan, and that's probably the first thing, the assumption that's wrong.
Yep.
So assume makes an ass out of you and me. But anyway, so let's talk about the idea of this. The average investor underperforms the market 3 to 4% a year due to poor timing decisions. And when they say timing, what are they talking about?
Well, I think we already kind of covered that.
We
It's-
did.
Yeah, it's that FOMO.
The FOMO,
It's,
fear of missing out, or fear of losing it.
Yeah, you
however
calling me,
wanna
hey,
call it,
I got some of
FOMO,
that
we'll think
NVIDIA and
we'll
it's
do it.
killing it right now, and I go
Right.
buy it. And I just
Right.
bought it at the wrong time.
Correct. So when you want to know about timing, here's the answer. It's the easiest thing to do. It's called timing. Time in the market. That's how you make money.
Mhm.
You don't try to time the market. People have tried for years. They'll sell you courses of how to do it. They'll take your hard-earned money. Now remember, the guy selling the course, the girl selling the course, these are wonderful people, and they'll even tell you. And the only reason I'm doing this is I've been so wildly successful and made so many millions. I just want you to have some of it as well.
For $3,500.
Right. But that's not my reason for doing it, Hunter. That is not my
Yeah.
reason. I can't even believe you said that. I just want to do it because, like this right here, I really want you to hit the like and subscribe button. And we don't even have a join button where you can start paying me $1.99 a month, but I'm just doing it out of the bottom of my heart. Well, actually, I am, because I truly want to make a difference in people's lives, because I believe the more I make a difference in someone's lives, the more I'll be blessed in my own life. And I'm not doing it just for that reason, but I'm telling you, it works.
Mhm.
The more generous I am, the better I've done, and I'm going to keep being generous. But the reality is, and I'm not calling out all these teachers with these wealth classes, but they make a serious profit off the wealth class. And when it
Oh,
comes
yeah.
to this one thing, whether it's teaching you how to flip real estate or whatever, use caution with your hard-earned money. If you want to make money in the markets, let me tell you how to time the markets. Dollar cost averaging. Put money in every single week, every single paycheck, every single month. Just do it and don't stop. And it will work out, as long as you're not some knucklehead buying things that are, chasing the GameStop because Reddit told you to.
Yep.
Okay. When I think about GameStop, I talked about this before, but I never jumped in because I don't see how they can be relevant in 2025, 2024, 2023. They're closing stores like crazy, because I used to love taking you
Oh, yeah.
to a GameStop.
Yeah.
Was it fabulous?
Those midnight releases were
It was just
nostalgic.
unbelievable. We stood in line. We did it all. That doesn't happen anymore.
No,
So
you got
I see
Amazon.
no reason to use that place.
Yeah.
If I want to go buy a new game system, I'm going to have Amazon deliver it to my door, or I'm just going to go to Best Buy.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Correct?
Yeah.
Their relevance is gone. So as long as you're buying quality items, time in the market is how you're going to make money. Okay? So bad decisions when it comes to investment management, they compound very quickly, just like interest. Compounding interest is one of the 10th wonders of the world, whatever they call it. Bad decisions compound quicker than compounding interest. You heard
Yeah.
it here first. All right, so what else on this thing we want to talk about? The average investor, we said underperforms. That's because during major downturns, retail investors are net sellers near the bottom. And let me tell you something, the Warren Buffetts of the world, that's how they make their most money.
Mm-hmm.
When you're selling, when you watching this are selling, guess what Warren's doing?
He's buying.
And you better believe it. Oh, it takes money to make money. You don't understand, Mark. I can't afford to lose any of this. Well, then why were you invested in the first place?
Yeah.
If you're putting money in the Wall Street casino that you can't afford to lose, you are a knucklehead. And your greatest fears are going to come to fruition. You heard it here first. When you put money in expecting, I'm afraid to lose this, but I got to make money. I'm putting it in. Oh, I hope it doesn't help it. And I hope it doesn't happen. You're focused on the wrong thing. And guess what's going to happen?
It's gonna hurt.
It's going to hurt. And then you're going to sell it. And then it's going to go
You
away.
lock it in.
And then you're going to say, would have, should have, could have. Oh, if I'd only known. You're going to be that person chasing the big returns.
Mm-hmm.
Big returns are just that. They're big returns. You don't chase them. you just become a diligent investor in quality things. And guess what? Every once in a while, you're rewarded with really good markets.
Yeah.
And then you're rewarded with average markets. And then you're rewarded with really bad markets. And hopefully you can go to your emergency fund and you got it more full than you thought. Think about that thing we talked about earlier when I said, like that person we were talking about, he's up 20%, 30%, whatever it was, 10%, but they're up 300,000. What if they'd have pulled that out of the market and just put it at their bank,
Yeah.
making 3%, whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we have a terrible market downturn and they take the 300 and put it back in the money when everybody's running. Now they just became a miniature 1,000th% of a Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
They just went and bought when other people were selling. And we know what's going to happen eventually. It's
Yeah.
going to come back up. So that $300,000 investment, if it just got back to where it once was, might triple it.
Yeah.
Might be a 30, 40, 50, 60% or higher increase.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that behavior you're talking about, though. It's so hard to get past that mental block. And, like we were saying earlier, social media and the courses and all this stuff only just magnify that tenfold.
That's all it does. It's all it does. And I think it's what we talked about when it comes to emotional investing. It's this idea that we all want profit
Mm-hmm.
without the pain. Everybody wants to lose 50 pounds when they're 75 pounds overweight. They want to get 50 of it off,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't want what it takes to do it. Look, I mean, I took a kidney from you. I took a body part from my son. Note to self: if you like your kids, you don't want to do that. And I fought your tooth and nail, and you made me
You
do it.
did, yeah.
But don't think when I was 100 pounds overweight that I didn't know I was fat. And you even said it, Dad, you don't look that bad. People said I didn't look that bad, did they?
Oh, no.
But if you
I mean, you can
compare
look back
that
on
mark,
photos.
if you compare that mark to this mark,
Yeah.
how do I look?
Yeah, it's 10 times better.
It's unbelievable, correct? And how do I
Mhm.
feel?
I mean, I don't know how you feel, but
Right.
I can tell you act 10 times different.
Yeah, yet I'm older.
Yeah.
So think about this. I didn't have a knowing problem. If you're watching this show and you're fat, and yeah, I'm using the fat word. Oh, Mark, you shouldn't call it that, large. No, you're fat. If you're fat, you know you're fat. It's not a surprise.
Yeah.
When I was drinking beer, I never really drank a lot, but that sounds like the biggest lie I've ever told. Why? Because I liked beer.
Yeah.
And so I'd go to lunch and have a couple at lunch. What would I have at dinner?
Couple of dinner.
Yeah, and then Sunday what would I have? A couple more.
Yep.
I can't tell I was watching the football game because I wasn't. But that turned into drinking a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't getting
I'm
drunk.
guilty of it.
I wasn't getting drunk, but I was drinking a lot.
Yeah.
Well, think about this. You think Fat Mark didn't know he was fat? Okay, so I didn't have a knowing problem. I didn't want to put the work in to lose it.
Well, you came up with a literal plan. It's so funny how that plan translates to more than just wealth. But I mean,
That's the point.
You-
That's what we're talking
yeah,
about.
you went after it with an actual plan because you've done this before. I mean, I remember back in Georgia. I mean, you lost a lot of weight and you were riding your bike and doing
Yep.
all the stuff,
yeah.
but
Couldn't
you were
stay with
still
it.
doing the other things
Correct.
that were hindering it.
Correct. And that's exactly right. I built a plan to change my life because the last thing I could do is take a body part from me and then abuse it.
Yeah.
That just couldn't happen. And so you don't need that motivation. Well, think about when it comes to investing, when it comes to becoming rich in this world, whatever your version of rich is. I think if you're born in America or you came here legally, you're already rich because you're in the
Mhm.
greatest country in the world. And you put faith in God in your life and you live in America, you got the trifecta, you
Yeah.
got it all. And so you're rich. Think about this. If you are watching this video on a cell phone or an iPad or a computer, you're rich.
Yeah.
In the world, you are rich because you own a cell phone. Holy smokes. If you have a car, now you're really rich.
Yeah.
Dry
not
place to live. Yeah. Running water, indoor plumbing, you're rich. Well, when you want to become wealthy, this is the easiest country to do it in. Just like getting healthy. We can go read books. We can try the new diet. We can try the new this, the new that, the cabbage soup diet, the paleo diet, the Atkins diet, the keto. I've done them all.
Yeah.
The reality is when you choose to do something and failure becomes not an option, you can do anything you want in this world. Anything. I can show you how. I can help you. I don't want to think of myself. I get paid to speak, as you know, Hunter, and do it all around the country and uh, quote try to motivate people. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. I can't motivate anybody to do anything because you don't think somebody tried to motivate me to lose weight when I was a type 2 diabetic and had kidney disease? And did my wife of 32 years, Terry, an athlete, hardest working person in the gym I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You ever seen anybody like your mom?
No.
She works out every day. She never stops.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you not think she tried to motivate me?
Yeah, I think everybody did. I mean, but at the end of the day, it's those outside influences.
So why can I be on this thing right here and I'm going to motivate you to become rich, become wealthy? You're already rich because you're watching this.
Yeah.
But I'm going to motivate you to become wealthy. It's ridiculous. Can't do it.
Mhm.
Now, can it help? Can it help? Yeah, it can. We can give you good information. You can text in, write in, give us your questions, and we will answer them. And we'll help you get on a financial path to success. But at the end of the day, you can have a knowing problem in life or a doing problem. Mark Henry had a doing problem. I was fat and I didn't do anything about it, and it cost me taking a kidney from you.
Mhm.
That'll never happen again because I will put the work in. You want to become wealthy? You're going to have to learn to work, both at a job and at discipline, choosing between what you want right this minute and what you want most. And if you want to live like nobody else and that's what you want most, I'm telling you, you're on the right channel because we'll help you do it.
Yeah.
Let's go into another segment here. We got a few other things we want to cover on this today and a couple other graphs, and I know they like doing that. And we also want to get, maybe with 10 minutes left, we ought to jump into some questions. But how do you build financial shock absorbers before the market drops? Well, I think this is where it comes into this idea of plans. So a shock absorber, would you agree, is an emergency fund? Let's put a slide up there to actually talk about this. Because when I think about a shock absorber, things happen in life.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Roof goes out.
Whatever. Got to
Transmission
have
in your car.
emergency
You got to
fund.
have something.
Okay, got to have that. So when you think about your income, imagine 100% of your income and 60% was spent on life.
Mm-hmm.
20% was in the fire extinguisher bucket. That's the emergency fund. And then it went over to investments. And then 10% was just go spend and party like a rock star. And 10% made you smile. And it was just things you want to do generously or tithing at church or things like that. Well, this reality is, once the emergency fund's funded, you could have 20% of your income going into this investment account. And I can tell you, you say, well, Mark, I don't make the kind of money you're talking about. Okay, well, let's say somebody makes $3,000, brings home $3,000 a month,
Mm-hmm.
lower scale. Okay, they start putting 20% of their income into an investment. So if they're making $3,000
Mm-hmm.
a month, that's $36,000 a year. 20% of that is $7,200. So they start putting $7,200 in an investment account. If it has no growth at all, in 10 years, they have how much in there? 72,000?
A little over 80 grand, give or take.
72,000.
Oh, 72,000.
Didn't made nothing.
Sorry.
10 years. That's right. Made nothing.
Yep.
Okay, 7,200 a year, 10 years.
Yep.
72 grand. How many of you watching right now have 2 years of your paycheck in cash? Because this guy didn't even invest it, and he made no money on it. Dumbest thing ever. For 10 years, he just put $7,200 in a shoebox.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you how the person making he never got a raise. She never got a raise. Let me tell you, I'll describe exactly how that person feels. Rich.
Yeah.
You say, Mark, $72,000 doesn't make you rich. If you get paid $3,000 a month and you have 24 months that you could walk away and continue you're obviously alive
Mm-hmm.
on $3,000 a month, and you can now do that for the next 24 months with
Not
no
right now.
risk of it changing whatsoever. Oh yeah, you feel rich.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do that for the next 10, 20 years, 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
That person is rich. He's wealthy. Hey, he's not Bill Gates wealthy, Warren Buffett wealthy, might not be Hunter Henry wealthy. But the feeling of wealth is exactly the same. That's how easy this thing can be.
Yeah.
Literally. It's just about using what you've been blessed with to enrich your lives and the lives of others and being a good steward of it. Simple as
Yeah.
that.
I mean, that's you
South
nailed it.
Park won't feel the same to that person as it feels to you. Maybe they don't ever go to South Park, but they'll still go to Walmart and they'll still be fine because that's what they've become accustomed to. So let's get on here and do some questions. Pull some questions out, and we'll rapid fire some at each other because I'd like to get a few of these done. Um, tell the team I know they had some other slides for us, but we'll come back to that one on another episode. I want to make sure we get some questions in.
You want me to ask you one of these?
Yeah, well, yeah, be careful because I'm gonna ask you one. So pull one out. What do you got for me?
Yeah, we'll start with the first one. I mean, what exactly defines a bad market or a bear market? How long do they typically last compared to a bull market?
Yeah,
And-
typically, bear market's going to last somewhere under 3 years. And we've got charts and graphs that can show all that stuff. But to what defines a bad? There's terms that will tell you technically exactly what defines it. But here's what I call a bad market: when you're losing money.
Yeah.
When it goes down and comes right back up, that's not a bad market. COVID, you could say, was a bad market. It crashed, but because of all the spending, right or wrong, it came right back. So it was certainly a bad market. It was certainly a bad period, but it doesn't define a market crash. '08 was a market crash. That was the Great Recession. That was a market downturn, and it lasted about what they always do, somewhere, 2 years, whatever. And then it came back, and now it's been on a tear ever since. There's
Yep.
been some bad moments, but not, quote, what I would call, real serious
Yeah.
recessions or anything like that. So let's think about this. If I'm retired and my portfolio drops 20 or 30% right now, should I stop withdrawals, cut spending, sell assets to preserve capital? What would I do? So I'm
Well, how old are
retired.
you first?
I'm retired.
Oh, you're retired. Okay.
Retired. I'm retired, and my portfolio dropped 30%.
Well, you one of our clients? Because a lot of our clients will have multiple buckets, and you talked about this earlier. When one's down, probably not going to pull from that bucket.
That's exactly right.
So
So the answer to this question is, what does the person do that not one of our clients and
Mhm.
has all their money in the Wall Street money machine and they get a 20% drawdown or a 30% drawdown? The world changes for them. They're forced to make really bad decisions. They've hit a place in the road where they should have had a
Yeah.
plan. They don't have one. They were lied to by an advisor or a Wall Street or whoever
just didn't know.
in this idea that this thing was your plan.
Yeah.
This is your plan. We build plans every day done by certified financial planners. They don't look like this.
No.
There's somebody that's trying to mimic us. Come to us, we'll get you a one-page financial plan. How do you do that? How big is this page? I want to see it. Like, do you take it home
Yeah,
rolled up on the hood of your car and you strap it down like a mattress?
if you could see an advisor and they could make you a plan in
On
that
one page.
appointment during your appointment,
Yeah,
that
during
1
your
hour,
appointment.
I would tell you to run.
Yeah, run. That's exactly right. It takes our analysts hours to make these
Yeah.
plans, and they're not one page. They're
No.
huge. But here's the idea of this. You shouldn't have had all your money in Wall Street. That's the first thing. Because what are you supposed to do during the 2 years the market's down? You're in your go-go years, you're retired, you're healthy, but you don't want to spend any money. So you cancel all the vacations and you just try to survive off the checking account or the Social Security or whatever and just try to survive. Okay, markets come back. Now they're finally starting to grow again, but you're not back where you once were. So you're watching them go up, go up, go up. Hey, let's take that Europe vacation while we still can. Honey, we still don't have what we lost yet.
Yeah.
Let's just hold off. We're going to go. We're going to go. About the time you're ready to go, you can't do it anymore because you don't feel healthy enough, or the market does what? Tumbles again.
Yep.
That's just riding a Wall Street roller coaster. And there was a day in my life I used to love roller coasters. I remember strapping you in some, and I've never seen you matter at me. Do you remember
Yeah.
that?
Oh yeah. Tower of Terror.
Yeah, Tower of Terror.
Ejection
those-
seat,
and-
Myrtle
and like,
Beach.
yeah, you
Yep.
just
Oh,
never.
yeah.
You were like, I was the worst father ever.
Yep.
People looking at me because you're screaming and I'm strapping you down.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna be fine, And I was that dad. I didn't know you didn't come with a damn owner's manual.
No.
I didn't really know what you're supposed to do. I got better with the other ones.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, no question.
Yeah, way better.
Yeah, and you hate that because we were broke when you were a kid, and we got wealthy when they were a kid, and and life changed for them. Their growing up was a little different.
I
than
wouldn't
yours.
change that though. I mean, getting to
I think it made you
experience
who
that.
you are.
Yeah, I mean, it's being able to experience that is
Yeah, you've
Yeah.
seen both sides. You've
Yeah.
seen your dad broke, and you've seen your dad with money. And it's kind of cool to understand
Yeah.
what both those look like, and the fact that I was kind of the same person in both those things. Money
Yeah,
doesn't
you
define
really
who I am.
haven't changed at
Doesn't
all.
define who I am at all, man. I'm just going to win in life. That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
Let's get another question on here. How does overcoming or chasing recent performance lead to bigger losses in volatile or downtown markets? I think it's this. If you're trying to, I'm gonna take this for
Yeah,
myself
go ahead.
because if you're trying to chase returns, you're gonna fail. I don't. Clients don't come to us wanting to make more money. I deal with retirees. Making money is great. I love it. It's fabulous. But living large is not about having more, it's about fearing less. When you have a rock solid financial plan, you don't fear as much. I can't change the world, but you don't fear your finances as much. They're rock solid. That's what living large is all about. Chasing returns is just that. It's chasing something that nobody's ever caught before. You want to, you're hunter's age and you want to make a bunch of money investing. You should. And that means you should do due diligence, but you need to learn how to time the market. And when I say time the market, what do I mean? Time the market, time
I'm in.
in the
Yep.
market. You got to start today and don't stop. Don't stop investing. Build buy good, solid, quality items that you believe in. Trade slowly, if at all, if you're managing your own portfolio. Let them go. Let them work for you, or buy index funds, buy the S&P,
Yep.
buy a gold fund if you want that, or buy this fund, whatever it is you're after.
Oh, the
But
access to
let them
information
do it
now,
is unbelievable.
Chat GPT, just
Unbelievable.
anybody can learn how to do this now.
Right. It's not hard. And again, I would do it, but I would do it dollar cost averaging, and I would invest in good markets and in bad markets. I would sell all the crap you bought from good markets. And when I say sell, I don't mean the stuff in your portfolio. All the iPhones and everything, go get up all the money you can in a bad market by selling the stuff in your garage, having a yard sale. Take money out of wherever you've got it stored and go buy more of the quality, good items in that portfolio. And the world can't stop you. You're going to become wealthy, and your version of wealthy and your neighbors will be different, but it doesn't matter, because when you feel wealthy, whatever that means to you and your family, it's exactly how you get to feel. And it's amazing. That's all you need to focus on. This isn't hard. It's not rocket science. We have all the tools available, and it's out there for you. So, hey, I hope you enjoyed this today. I hope you found the information useful and helpful. Like everybody on Snappergram, YouTube, whatever, hit the like button. Follow me, follow me. Listen, if you don't like me, follow me anyway, because it's going to help my channel grow. And I want it to grow so that somebody else that actually might like me, or maybe they don't like me, but they get good information, we could help them. So understand this. When you like and subscribe and ask questions and comments, both good and bad, I don't care. Do it. It's going to let the algorithms promote the channel more, and you realize you could be helping someone else. That's what it's all about. Let's help others. Let's live large in 26. And hey, we'll be back again next week on the Wealth Help Desk. Who knows who's going to show up? We'll have different guests on each and every week, but we want to get your questions answered. So write them in, call them in, get them to us, and we're going to help you out. Hey, have a great week. We'll see you soon.